Hi, I'm Boyle and Roscommon footballer Enda Smith, and you're listening to Ball Talk.
Welcome to episode 1 of my new series Ball Talk. My name is Rian Bailey, and over the next half an hour you'll be hearing me talking with Roscommon footballer Enda Smith. In this series I'm going to be talking with different people from across the GAA. Hope you enjoy it. This video is sponsored by Adapt. I'll leave a link to Alan's Instagram in the description, and the music is provided by Seamie O'Boyle, so I'll leave a link to Seamie's Instagram and SoundCloud in the description as well. Hope you enjoy the video. So first off, thanks for joining me, Enda. We'll get straight into what we're going to be talking about today. So you joined the county panel at Roscommon in 2013, is that right?
That's right, yeah. John Evans brought me into the squad. It was his first year as well, and John just brought me into the squad. I think kind of the end of January, start of February, just when the league was getting off. So I was just 18 at the time, and obviously it was a massive deal for me being brought into the panel at that age. And yeah, from then on, I've been there since, year in year out. So yeah, I think this is my 8th year. So it's been a long time.
That's 7 seasons you've had so far with the Roscommon panel. Out of the last 4 of those, if I'm right, it's been Roscommon and Galway Connacht finals. You've won 2 each. Talk to me about that rivalry between yourselves and Galway.
Yeah, it's funny, I suppose, when I would have started off, it was all Mayo. Mayo were dominating. I think Mayo were on the middle of their 5 in a row. So, and then since 2016, ourselves and Galway kind of came into the fore. And yeah, like you said, it's been us and them ever since. I think we've 2 each as well. So yeah, it's been very close between us. We'd have been very close underage as well for years. So it's just the way it's been with regards ourselves and Galway.
As you said there, Mayo had that period of dominance, the 4 in a row. Now it's more of a Roscommon Galway dominated Connacht. And in terms of Roscommon, do you think is that down to new management? Is it the new crop of players coming through? Is it a mix of both? Like what's been driving you on the last couple of years?
It's probably a combination of both, I'd say. I think obviously you need the players first and foremost, I think, to kind of really buy into what you're trying to do. I think there was a bunch of players there. There's a bunch of us, I think, now that are probably aged between 23 and 28 that are probably the core bunch of the team, 28, 29 maybe, that would have played with each other a lot underage and that, and we're all very familiar with each other, and I suppose we have an idea of where we wanted to go, and we've tasted success underage, and knew that it wouldn't happen straight away, I suppose, when we came into the senior panel, but knew if we stuck at it that it would eventually come, because we were, I suppose, used to playing against the teams in Connacht regularly and being successful against them. So we knew if we just kept at it, it would come. And then on top of that, then you add in your management, who've been very important. Obviously, we had, like I said, John Evans when I came in first, but then Kevin McStay and Fergal O'Donnell brought their own bit, and then Kevin McStay on his own then brought it on an extra bit. And then I think Anthony Cunningham now the last 2 years has brought us up another level. So it's definitely a bit of both. I think it's once the players realise that what it takes is the big thing, and then getting the management to kind of, I suppose, put in the structures there for the players to flourish. It's important as well. So it works both ways, but it's definitely both players and management has had a big impact on us, kind of competing, kind of being in Division 3-4 level for a while to really competing at Division 2 and Division 1 level now.
Just when you mentioned Kevin McStay there, that makes me think of the documentary that AIB did with you a few years back. That gave a great insight into the group of players you have, the backroom staff, and that there's so many sets of brothers in that panel. Would you say there's a real sort of family bond sort of sense there?
Is it?
Yeah, for definite. Like I said, we would have played with, I suppose, each other a lot growing up, the lads, and I think that year in particular, I'm not sure, we had 6 or 7 sets of brothers on the team that year, and it's like that's massive for any panel, for a county panel. Like it does have a club feel about it. And yeah, I suppose that the documentary itself, then I suppose we weren't sure really what was kind of happening with it at the start. I remember they came in, first of all, we were on a training camp away up in Kildare, and they came in and we seen the camera there. It was only got one guy in his own holding the camera and another guy with him kind of floating about, but the camera was pretty small. It wasn't the one that was in your face, and it was kind of on the outskirts, and I think they were conscious of that to keep them not too in our faces or whatever. And to be honest, you wouldn't have noticed it at all really when it was going on, the filming. Like, you were so just engrossed, I suppose, in the training and just in the environment, the football, the team environment, that it didn't really pass much heat in it. And then I suppose it's only when they put it together, all the little clips, that you realise, geez, I remember that now. And just, we did that, and being able to see it then, what it came out as was, it was good. I think it was good probably for fans, especially Roscommon fans, like getting that insight. I know, like, you don't really, I think, well, in general, probably GA fans don't get that insight anymore into teams and kind of into the dressing room kind of stuff. So to get that bit of an insight, I don't think it was any groundbreaking stuff, but I think that bit of dressing room and team training and on the pitch was a welcome kind of change to not being seeing anything maybe in a long time.
Yeah, I think it was very interesting. I think it was the drawing game above in Croke Park against Mayo, and you came into the dressing room at half time, and you could just see the passion, just pure passion coming out of players and management. You know, the shouting, the roaring, the banging, and going around the place. Like, it's something that a lot of people in the GA can actually relate to, and to capture that in video and have it there, like, it was great to watch.
It's probably raw emotion that it's not put on. It's very much in the moment, and it's very much how people are feeling, and that, like, especially a dressing room atmosphere like that, like it's an All Ireland quarter final in front of whatever 65,000 people, and I think we were a point down or 2 points down maybe against Mayo, and it was real tense stuff. So people are obviously emotional and getting really worked up, and that's what it shows. Just kind of people are real. You know, we're not kind of robots that we don't have any emotions or anything. That it's very real, and I think that's what makes any good sporting documentary, when you see real content and things that actually happen. That makes it, I suppose, a lot better.
So I'm just going to move on from Roscommon for a few minutes, and we'll talk about, if you don't mind, we'll talk about college football. So you went to DCU and you won the Sigerson as well. Just tell me about that.
In 2015, we beat UCC in the final down in Cork, which was brilliant. We had a really strong team that year. Probably did it the hard way in that we beat Jordanstown up in Jordanstown as well in Belfast. Then we beat St Mary's up in Belfast as well, and then beat UCD in the semi-final on the Friday and UCC on the Saturday after extra time in the final. So it was a real great Sigerson to win, and it's one of my fondest memories. It was great competition to play in, great bunch of lads, and really good memory.
Yeah, just when you say there how it's such a fond memory for you as well, like, speaking from my own experience, and I think I can speak for a lot of people here, you go to college and there's some fellas that are turn around and say, oh no, I won't play football, I'll use the winter, take a break off, and you're playing with your club, and some lads playing county throughout the summer. But like, some of the players you get to meet and play with through playing college football, it's unreal. The standard is something else.
Oh, absolutely. That's, I suppose, I was very lucky to play with real high caliber players throughout my years in DCU, between Fresher and then Sigerson. I suppose that concept of not playing because it's your winter break is, it's not, it never was a huge commitment, and it was never something that we were ever flogged in the winter. It was all football. We might have trained twice a week, a Monday and a Wednesday, all ball kind of stuff. Play your game then maybe every second week. You might have had a game depending on how far you went in the competition, but it was the most enjoyable football you can play. I couldn't encourage really anyone enough to play kind of this college football, because it's just the enjoyment of it, and then secondly, the lads you meet. So, like, let's say playing with lads from all over the county or country, getting an idea of kind of, I suppose, what they're like, how they prepare for games, and kind of just being on the same pitch as certain lads. It's very good just for your own learning and that. But the enjoyment factor is definitely the best. After every training, every game, you're you're heading out, if you're traveling away, you're stopping on the way back in an off license and that, and you're heading out. Then that's the best part of it. To be honest, that's the bit you'd miss the most. The games are brilliant, but it's that kind of fun we had along the way, which like after every game you'd be religiously heading out or that, and you'd always have a good bunch of 15 to 20 lads at least, because it's such a big panel of players you would have had. So it's terrific competition to play in, and really, really enjoyable. College football is one of the most enjoyable places you play football.
Yeah, and just talking about that Sigerson, this is going back to Roscommon again now. But you played that final against UCC, and playing for UCC was Conor Cox. And last year, one of the main stories in the summer in the GA was Conor Cox's move from Kerry to come up and play county football at Roscommon. What has he brought to that Roscommon team that's different?
Absolutely, yeah. Conor was brilliant. So Conor, obviously with UCC there, we would have known about him and heard about him. He would have been one of their main forwards up there, and I would have known of some sort of Roscommon connection, but didn't know how strong it was. And I suppose when I seen him playing so well for Cork or for the college, you'd imagine that he'd be in with Kerry, and he was in and around with Kerry, but for one reason or another, it just didn't work out for him. But I suppose what he's brought to us then last year, he's been brilliant. He's really kind of seamlessly transitioned into the group really well. Obviously, first and foremost, he's a very, very, very talented footballer. He's very comfortable off both feet. Obviously knows where the posts are. And has just brought a different kind of level of us. We know he's a big, kind of strong, kind of target man in there to have inside, and he's very good at winning his own ball and bringing other lads into the game. So he's been a massive addition to us, and I suppose he had that kind of strike of unknown kind of last summer as well. I suppose people would have heard of him, but probably still had that unknown factor to a degree. And he was massive for us last year. Really was a massive part in us winning a Connacht title last year. So he's been brilliant.
Yeah. So just to move on from the Sigerson, that was 2015. You go on to 2017, and 2017, Roscommon win the Connacht title, play in the Super 8s. You get nominated for an All-Star yourself, and you also got brought to the international rules. So, if I have this right, some of the Dublin guys pulled out, and you were on standby, so you got to go to Australia. So tell me about your time in Australia with the international rules.
Yeah, so I suppose the international rules then. I was there in 2015 as well, in training with them, kind of from the get-go, and made the standby panel that year. So not quite the match day panel, but the standby in case anyone got injured or anyone couldn't play due to club. So I got a taste of it back in 2015. Then obviously it was on 2 years later in Australia in 2017, and same routine again. Got called in for the trials after their I suppose All Ireland Championship was finished. And every Friday, Saturday we would have trained. Friday night, Saturday mornings up in Dublin. Lads coming from all over the country, and I suppose week by week then it's been kind of lads are being let go or lads can't commit or whatever. And I suppose I was playing quite well at the time and felt I would have been in with a shot for sure. And I got a call then one Saturday morning to say that I made it, that I was on the flight to Australia. So it was brilliant, just for experience wise, everything, and represent your country to play football, and I suppose act like a professional for 3 weeks. It was brilliant as well. So massive experience. Got to play with a lot of good players, and it's something I won't. Although actually, I suppose the time itself didn't go great for me, because I ended up getting quite sick when I was down there.
Right.
And missed out on the first game, but in terms of experience and that, it was brilliant, and really, really enjoyed those few weeks, kind of training and playing the game.
I'm just looking here. There's another team you were involved in, was the Railway Cup team. I think it's 2016 it was. What's your opinion on the Railway Cup? Do you think it's something that still should be going on, or is it was dying out? So was it dying out for a reason, or?
It probably was dying out by the time I played. Like, we still had a cracking team, we still had a really strong team, and lads were still mad up for playing, but I think it's hard just to fit it into the calendar and get the kind of appetite for fans to play or to go and see it. Like I think the year I played 2016, we played Leinster in a semi-final in Parnell Park, and a handful of people there really, interest just wasn't there. Probably the GA probably don't market it probably either, as they don't see it as a big draw for them. And then equally we had the final against Ulster in Carrick and Shannon, and equally same, like very small crowd, and I suppose interest in that. So you can see why it didn't go ahead or hasn't gone ahead in years' time, and just appetite probably isn't there from the GA or for the supporters to go and support it. But as players, just like it's a game. It's great to play. So
yeah,
I enjoyed my time playing it, but it's hard to justify it at the moment when I suppose the need isn't there for people to kind of go and support it and go and watch it.
Yeah, a good point. I think we're going to just move on to what is the last segment of this video, and it's an idea that I pitched to Enda there during the week. Basically what we're going to do, and what Enda has prepared over the last couple of days, is a team of 15 players, which includes himself, of the best players he's played with. This can be based on ability, based on leadership, the amount of time you play with them or whatever. There's only just a few rules. Firstly, of course, you have to be in the team yourself. As well as that, it can be any player that you played with, club, county, international rules, college, Railway Cup, whatever, as long as you played a competitive game of football with them. And thanks Enda, who has prepared a team for us. So if you want to start off there, Enda.
So I threw myself into midfield. So I put myself in midfield for the team. I think I had too many good forwards that I couldn't justify putting myself in as a forward, so I'll throw myself back into the middle. Keeps me safe out there. Kind of picked it on the basis of, like you said, all those parameters and rules that you said, but on terms of lads who I played with and just that particular year, that they were just, I suppose, extremely good. So like you said, I would have played with a lot of lads in interprovincials and international rules who were obviously outstanding players, but I suppose I'm picking it on terms of the impact they had when I played with them, in terms of us, I suppose, doing well together and that. So I suppose not just on reputation, it's more so on their performances when I played with them. So I'm going to give it a go anyway. So in goals, I had Darren O'Malley. So Darren, obviously, Roscommon goalie. Played with Darren for years. He's been solid as a rock for us. Bit of debate with, I suppose, Colm Lavin. The two of them are probably close, but I just nipped for Darren for the goalie spot.
Okay.
Full back line then, I went for Stephen Atroyd of Laois. So I played with him in Freshers with DCU, and in Sigerson with DCU, quality player. Brian Stack from Roscommon and Davy Murray from Roscommon. So the two lads are as solid as you can get. Really, really good footballers. Always give you 100% on the day. So couple lads unlucky to miss out there. Probably Connor Daly, probably the most unlucky. He would have been very, very close to being there. I actually played with Kevin Feely as well from Kildare in college, and he played full back for us for Sigerson, but I don't think he's a natural full back. I think he's a better midfielder, so that's why he just misses out. So that's why I went with Brian Stack there in full back. Half back line then, I went on to my own club man, so Tig McKenna. So he's a Boyle man. He's my own age. I would have played with him for years, the whole way up. I suppose mightn't be recognised countrywide, but in terms of lads I've played with, he's top class, and I'd have him in my team every day of the week. Centre back then, I went for Sean Malooly, Sean Roscommon man, and left half back Colm Begley from Laois as well. So I would have played with Colm when I was in college. So Colm was excellent, really, really solid player and good leader, and really drove things on. Around the middle then, so alongside myself, around the middle, I went with Stephen O'Brien from Tipperary. So Stevie would have played a couple of years. Sigerson with Stevie, just class, really, really good player, workhorse. Really did all the not nice things around the field, but still got in and chipped in with a really important score as well the odd time. So it's hard to leave Stevie out. Kind of honourable mention there to Ultan Herney. I'd say Ultan would have been in, only that I had to put myself in it. So I would have probably had Ultan Herney in there inside Stevie if it wasn't for myself. Yeah, the forwards obviously was extremely tough to pick. Lucky to play with a lot of really good attacking players over the last number of years. For my half forward line, I went with Kieran Byrne from Louth at 10. Okay. Kieran Byrne would have played freshers with Kieran Byrne. He had a long stint in the AFL with Carlton for I think 6 or 7 years. He's home now, but I went with Kieran at 10. Kieran Murtagh from Roscommon at 11, and I went with Conor Devaney at 12 from Roscommon as well. So yeah, I suppose Kieran Murtagh at 11, just your dream 11 to play with. I think he's just really unselfish. Yeah. He's all about the team. Always gets important scores, and then Conor Devaney then is just a really quality player. He can play kind of half forward or half back line, but I put him as a forward because when he's played there for us, he's been really strong, and he's been, like I said, he's another one who chips in with kind of 2 or 3 scores a game as well. Yeah, really good football brain on him as well. And finally, the full forward line. I went with my brother Enda Smith. I suppose I had to throw him in there. I've been playing with him long enough, so I had to throw him in there. Full forward, I went Diarmuid Murtagh from Roscommon, and left corner forward, I went with a Sligo man, Niall Murphy. So would have played with Murph colleges and that, and yeah, I would definitely have Murph in the team. He's extremely good footballer. He's been brilliant for Sligo the last number of years, and his home and his club Clare Strandhill as well. So it's hard to leave him out. A lot of lads now. It was a lot of tough decisions made there. I suppose from my own side, Roscommon side, you're leaving out Cathal Craig, Conor Cox. Around the half forward line, Niall Kilroy is a big one you leave out. Kind of guy is unsung hero, but he's really, really appreciate him as a footballer when you play with him. Diarmuid O'Connor from Mayo was probably unlucky to miss out as well. He'd have been, I suppose, very, very, would have had a couple of years in with Sigerson. He was close. A couple more then in the back line as well. Shawnee McDermott for Roscommon. Niall Daly as well. Niall Daly would probably be close as well. But yeah, no, so that's kind of my team now. A lot of mulling and deciding over who was in and who was out. But yeah, finally decided on that. And yeah, not a bad thing now. I'd be happy enough to line out with them, I suppose.
Yeah. So unfortunately the Zoom meeting expired a bit early there, so we had to cut it short. Thanks anyway to Enda for joining me on the podcast. I'm going to be recording another podcast this weekend, so hopefully that'll be out to you in the next couple of days. In the meantime, feel free to share this video on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you get notifications for when the next video goes up. My thanks again to Alan Dunn from Adapt for sponsoring this video. There's a link again in the description to Alan's Instagram page. Hope everyone keeps well during isolation, and I'll be back with you again the next couple of days. Thanks, William.